Caitlin's picture is little. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining our at-home STEM session. My name is Lamaya Hall, and I'm the operations coordinator here at STEM Nola. Dr. Mackey's actually out of town, so today I will be doing the introduction. So first, what we want to do is thank our kids from last week, sending in the pictures. I think it was Javen Moore that's in the picture. Yes, Javen Moore. He's homeschooled from Kernersville, North Carolina. Thank you for sending in your pictures of last week's activity. Also, please today take pictures as you're doing the projects. Take pictures of your final products and send it to webinar@stemnola.com. So before we begin and we let our STEMNOLA staff member Kevandra take over, let's hear something from Ryan Pitzer about wind. And Ryan Pitzer, he works at Boeing and he's a manufacturing engineer.
You're still live, just letting you know.
Okay. Thank you from that video from Ryan. So I'm going to introduce our STEM NOLA staff member, Kevandra Collins. And she's going to take you through a few wind activities today. I hope you enjoy it. And I will see you at the end. Kevandra.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kevandra, and I graduated from Dillard University with a bachelor's degree in business administration. And today I'm going to be introducing to you guys our wind activities for today. All right, so let's get started. So on the agenda for today, guys, we're going to go ahead and go over our vocabulary terms. Then we're going to go over our objectives and then our activity questions. And then we're going to hop right on into our activities, which are wind chimes, bird kite. And then we're going to go ahead and answer our activity questions. And then in the end, you guys can ask and send any questions that you have. All right, so for our vocabulary words, we have first is thrust. And thrust is the forward force that propels a kite in the direction of motion. Then we have drag. Drag is the aerodynamic force caused by air and wind that goes against the motion of an object. Then we have Newton's third law of motion. This states that every force or action has an equal and opposite reaction. And lastly, we have Bernoulli effect. This states that an increase in speed of a fluid occurs simultaneously with a decrease in static pressure or a decrease in a fluid's potential energy. All right, so let's get started. All right, so first on our agenda question, we have, which of these will not fly in the wind? We have a flag, a kite, or a stone. All right, looks like everyone's got that one right, and your answer was stone. Good job. All right, so for our objectives for today, you will be learning to understand the meaning of the terms thrust, drag, Newton's third law of motion, and Bernoulli effect, and then we're going to apply them all correctly to our project. And today you're going to be creating a wind chime and a bird kite. So our next question, we have, what are the experiments, what are we experimenting with today? Is it rockets, wind, or buoyancy and density? All right, so we have it. The answer is wind. We are going to be covering the topic of wind today. All right, so here are our questions of the day. The first question is, what is the aerodynamic force that goes against a kite as it's flying in air? Next, we have, what is Newton's third law of motion? And what does it mean when a wind chime makes louder sounds? And we're going to go back to these questions at the end. All right, so our first activity we have is wind chimes. All right, so for our materials today, guys, we're going to go ahead and use yarn or string, colorful beads. Then we're going to use paper or plastic cup, markers, crayons, and or stickers. So while everyone is gathering their materials, I'm going to go ahead and go over the science behind it. So the force of moving air has the power to move objects, which creates sounds. Wind chimes gives us one way to measure the force of moving air. As wind speed increases, the wind pushes those chimes harder and causing them to strike each other. And that creates a greater force. The stronger the wind, the louder the sound. Also, wind chimes are musical decorations hung outdoors, and they are played by the natural force of wind. So most wind chimes, they have metal tubes, which vary in lengths. These tubes are usually suspended on a circle form of a platform by strings or wires. And then when the wind blows, those metal tubes bump against each other, and also it causes those tubes to vibrate. And those vibrations, they travel through the lengths of the tubes and they produce those sound waves. All right. So I think we're ready. Everyone should have their materials ready to go. We're going to go ahead and start by grabbing our paper cup, everyone. So with your paper cup, we're going to flip it over. And what we want to do is we want to poke a hole at the bottom of our cup, okay? So you can use either a pen, a pencil, whichever sharp tool you have, and we're going to poke it. I'm going to use my skewer. And I'm going to poke a hole in the center. All right. I think that is good. Next, everyone, we're going to go ahead and grab our string, okay? So I'm going to measure about a foot and then cut. So after you have that first piece of string, what we want to do is we want to grab a piece or one bead, okay? And we're going to string that bead through our string until it reaches the center, like so. Next, we want to join those two ends of our string together. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this piece of string through the hole of our cup that we just created. All right, and that string should stick out right at the bottom. And you can pull that string right through the cup. Can everyone see that? All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot to secure it in place. And you can also double knot it if you need to. So this is what we're going to have for the first step. You should have a loop on the end. Next, everyone, what we want to do is we want to create holes around the rim of our cup. So I'm going to go ahead and poke holes evenly spaced out. And all you need is about 4 or 6 holes. You can also use a sharp tool as well, but for now I'm going to use a hole puncher. All right. So go ahead and make your holes. You can make 4 evenly spaced out holes on the rim of your cup. All right. Okay, so you can also, if you have a paper cup on hand, that may work easier for you. All right. So once you have this step completed, you don't? Okay. Well, for now, you can definitely watch us perform this, and whenever you get a paper cup, you can definitely follow along. All right. So next step, we're going to go ahead and start cutting more pieces of string. Oh, yes. So also, guys, if you don't have a paper cup like I do, you can use a styrofoam cup. Or you can try using a sharper tool. Just be very careful if you try to use scissors to cut through plastic cups. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and cut my other pieces of string. So I'm going to go ahead and cut about a foot of string again. All right, so I'm going to cut 4 pieces. Since I made 4 holes in my cup, all I need is 4 pieces of string. And I'm going to make them all the same lengths. So measure, then cut. And if it isn't perfect, that is fine as well. So, everyone, we should now have our 4 pieces of string cut. So, next we're going to go ahead and loop our pieces of string through the holes that we made. So for one piece of string, I'm going to put it through one of my holes, and then I'm going to secure it with a knot to keep it in place. Also, go ahead and make a double knot if you need to. This will ensure that your beads won't fall apart, okay? Alright, that's one. Now I'm going to repeat that with the rest of the holes and the rest of the string that I have. So go ahead and loop your string through each hole and tie a knot. All right, so as you know, we're gonna go ahead. Right now I'm tying string through the holes of my cup. Okay, so we cut 4 pieces of string, and now we're gonna go ahead and tie those 4 pieces of string on the 4 holes that are on the rim of our cup. Okay. So right now everyone should have their 4 holes punched in the rim of their cup and their 4 pieces of string cut. Alrighty, now I have one more to tie on. All right, and I'm gonna double knot it to secure it tighter. All right, all done with that part. So this is what we have, everyone. We have, let me hold it sideways. We have here our string. All 4 of our strings are tied to all 4 of our holes. And we also have a string attached to a bead, which is also at the bottom of our cup. Now, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and grab our beads. So look around your house for any objects that you have, any free beads that you have. You can even use other materials, maybe like washers and hex nuts. But anything that has a hole that you can put the string through, right? So go ahead and start looping or start putting your beads onto the string, okay? So this one is going to take some time, and also You can use different beads with different sizes and shapes and also different materials. You'll notice that when it blows in the wind, it's going to make different tones or different sounds. All right. So what we're doing is we're putting our beads onto the string. Keep in mind that the longer your string is, the more beads you will most likely need, but you can always cut away any excess string. Right. So yes, I like to use beads like these with different shapes and sizes. So what we're focused on today is wind, and you're going to notice that as wind speed picks up, your wind chimes should also create louder sounds, right? And I want you all to think to yourself, like, what if I use something that is metal or, you know, a different material? What kind of sound would that create? All right, so I think this bead string is about done. So I'm going to show you all how to finish it at the end. So what you want to do is, you notice that these beads, this string is really small, so the knot won't be big enough to catch all of my beads. So I have a little trick for that. You can go ahead and grab some tape, okay? So after you make a knot, and you see how small my knot is? Pretty small. The beads will probably slide off. So to combat that, we're going to go ahead and grab a piece of tape, okay? And all you need is a little bit, not too much. And we're going to wrap that on the ends of our string, okay? So right over where I made my little knot, I'm going to put a piece of tape. And then I'm going to wrap it around. And now you'll notice that your beads should not pass or fall off the string. And that's what we want. So next, once you're done with the first string or bead string, we're going to go ahead and cut off the excess string. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to repeat that with the rest of our pieces of string, okay? So go ahead and string those beads or put those beads on your string. All right. So I have so many various beads with different sizes, which should create really cool, interesting sounds in the wind. All right. So like before, we learned that we can measure wind speed by just looking at or listening to the sounds of our wind chimes. So if your wind chimes are making louder sounds or moving around rapidly, what do you think is going on with the wind? Did the wind increase or did it decrease? All right, so I'm gonna try out different shapes. Now you can go ahead and measure to see if it's even with your other string of beads, and if so, go ahead and tie it again. Tie a knot at the end. And grab your tape like this. Then I'm going to wrap the tape around the end of my string like this, and then cut off the excess string. And you can put that off to the side. Alright, so this is what I have so far. I have 2 more strings to go. Alright. Alright, now okay, I'm going to measure. I think I need a few more beads. And guys, even wind chimes are also used as instruments, which is really cool because the instrument player is actually the natural force of wind. All you need is a gust of wind and it will definitely play beautiful, beautiful sounds for you. Okay. I think I have enough. I'm going to add 1 more bead to this string, and then I'm going to finish it with a knot. If your string is a lot thicker and you feel like you have a bigger knot, you don't have to use the tape method. But if you have a slimmer piece of string like I do, go ahead and add just some tape on the end. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that over again. All right. And that's my 3rd piece. And I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I did before and cut off the excess. Now I'm on to my last piece. Almost done. Are you guys almost done? All right. Oop. Now, few more beads to go, guys, and we're almost done. All right, and I'm just gonna search through my beads again. I'm looking for the good beads. Okay, few more beads and then I'm done. And we get to the fun part, the really fun part. Okay, I'm gonna measure it out. I think that's about right. tie that up. All right, make your knot. And don't forget the tape. The tape just seals it off right. And now we're all done. Actually, we have one more step. And go ahead and cut off the excess. So, now that I have my wind chimes complete, you can go ahead and decorate your cup. You can use some markers, some crayons, anything you have, even stickers, and you can decorate your cup. So I'm gonna use my marker to create some cute little designs, some swirls. And you can get as creative as you want with this part. Okay. Then we have some stickers as well. Go ahead and use your stickers, whatever you have on hand. I like this ladybug. All right. All right, so how is everyone looking? Yes. So everyone, I'll give you all time to catch up. So we have our finished wind chimes, everyone. Also, you can go ahead, if you are done, you can take your wind chimes outside on a nice breezy, windy day, and you can go ahead and hang them up on a tree or on your porch, and you can watch or listen to your wind chimes as they blow in the wind. All right. And it's okay if you weren't able to get this completely finished in time. You definitely have time to finish it up, but please do so. No rush. All right. And guys, here we have it, our wind chime. And you'll see once the wind blows the different sounds it makes. And also I want to know if anyone chose to use any metal objects like washers and hex nuts. And let me know what you've observed, any sounds that you've observed. All right. So guys, this one took a bit longer, but we're going to move on to the next activity. And our next activity is bird kite, everyone. All right. So the materials for this activity are construction paper, a stapler, markers, tape or glue, crayons or stickers, string, a hole puncher, and scissors. So guys, while you all are going and grabbing those materials, I'm going to read the science behind this. So a kite gets its lift when the wind hits the kite's face. The line or string holds the kite on an angle within the wind, and the air is deflected or pushed down. According to Newton's third law of motion, every force or action has an equal and opposite reaction. In this case, as the air gets pushed downward, the kite is turned and pushed upward. This is also called the Bernoulli effect, and it also helps planes fly. All right, so let's get started. So first, guys, let's go ahead and grab our paper. So for this activity, I'm going to use this large sheet of paper, but you all can definitely use whichever size paper you have on hand. If you have the standard size, that is fine as well. So for the first step, everyone, go ahead and fold your paper in half. So I'm going to fold my paper in half, and then I'm going to make a crease. So just pinch the edge, and then you have a crease. All right, next step is, guys, so we have 2 corners at the top. You see these corners? We want to go ahead and fold those corners over. And we want to fold them until they reach the spine of our paper, which is also known as the crease. So you see where I'm pinching? I can do that over if you missed it. Okay, I'm going to show it from a different angle. I'm folding the 2 corners down and then pinching it at the spine. Okay. All right, so it should look like this. And guys, we don't want to make any more creases. It should definitely fold over like this. All right, so next step, where I have those 2 corners jointed at, I want to go ahead and staple that. So grab your stapler and staple right where they meet, where those corners meet. All right, so everyone, make sure that you folded those corners. I'll show it again one more time for anyone who's missed it. We're going to go ahead and take those 2 top corners at the top, fold it over until it reaches the spine of our paper. Pinch it and then staple. So I'm going to line up my stapler in there. And the staple should go right through on the other side. So this is what we have so far. All right. And it doesn't look quite like a bird just yet because we don't have our main components. But before we get to that, I want to go ahead and make a hole on the spine of my paper as well. So you can make a hole about a 1/3 of the way from your spine, I'm going to use a hole puncher. You can use a pencil or a pen, anything with a sharp edge. And this is where I have my hole. Next, where you have the hole punch, go ahead and grab a piece of string. This time our string is going to be about an arm's length, okay? So hold your arms out and stretch that string across, and then you can go ahead and cut it. So this is what we want. We want a really long piece of string. That way our kite can get a great lift when we're flying it, right? So next I'm going to go ahead and insert the string inside of the hole we just punched, and then I'm going to tie a knot. All right, and double knot it again if you need to. All right, and this is what we have. Now we're going to start dressing our bird kite up. So first, I'm going to grab some other colored construction paper. So I have red construction paper. You can use any color you want. But what we want to do is we want to create a triangle shape. This triangle shape is going to represent the beak of our bird. So go ahead and just cut that shape out. And to put the triangle or the bird beak onto our kite, you can use either glue or tape or even the stapler. But what we want to do is we want to slide it through that little gap right here in the front of our kite. And then we're going to put it right there. You can use glue or tape. I'm going to use tape because it's a lot quicker. And you can use it like this. If you use the tape, you can put the tape right on the outside like that. And then flip it over and add more. So now we see our bird is starting to come together, but we're missing a few more things. So now we're gonna need our feathers, right? So we're gonna go ahead and cut out some feathers. This time I'm gonna use some orange paper. You can use whichever color paper you want. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut out arches, okay? So you can cut some arches, kind of looking like clouds, but you can make whatever shape that looks like feathers to you, like this. And again, I'm going to slide this between the fold like so, and I'm going to tape it in place. This time I'm going to grab a larger piece of tape. All right, and then flip it over so that you can add tape to the other side. All right, now we're almost done. We have one more thing to add, and that would be the eyes. So you can grab a Sharpie, any sort of marker, and to draw your eyes on, you can just make a circle and then a dot in the center. Looks like an eye. Then I'm gonna flip it over and do the same thing. Draw a circle and make a dot in the center. All right, now we're all done with our bird kite. So go ahead and you can go and bring your bird kite outside on another windy day, of course, and go ahead and fly your kite and see as that wind gives your bird kite its lift, okay? And it'll fly like this. So here we have it. We have both of our activities completed. All right, so let's go back to our questions of the day. So the first question we have, what is the aerodynamic force that goes against the kite as it's flying in air? Is it gravity, drag, or wind? All right, I see everyone. Majority of you answered drag, and you are correct. Good job. Okay, next question we have, what is Newton's third law of motion? Is it force equals mass times acceleration? Is it for action there is an equal but opposite reaction? Or is it the force makes everything sink? All right, good job, guys. So yes, the answer is for an action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, so what does it mean when the wind chimes make louder sounds? Is it it's raining? The wind is blowing stronger? Or the wind isn't blowing at all? All right. Correct, guys. The answer is the wind is blowing stronger. So if you've gotten all those answers right, give yourself a pat on the back. You're good. All right. So does anyone have any questions? You can go ahead and send those. And also, guys, remember that you can go ahead and take pictures. Please, we want to see your finished product, so please go ahead and email your pictures and videos to webinar@stemnola.com. All right, and have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevandra, for the kite, for the wind chime. Both beautiful. I love when we do wind because it's cool and it's fun. And you always end up like with cute projects after you do wind. So before we close out today, does anybody else have any more questions? If I make a bigger bird, will it fly the same? They're both gonna go through the wind. However, if it's bigger, there may be more like air resistance when you fly it. But yeah, you can use bigger paper. It'll work one and the same as the regular size. That's a good question. Are there any more questions before we close out? Perfect. All right. Upcoming events this weekend, we have the Physics of Sound. We're doing it with DOD and STEM Nola, Virtual STEM Saturday, April 10th this weekend at 10 a.m. We also are doing Sound for You Northside people. So people that live on the north side, check us out at stemnola.com. This registration is actually closed, but this event is happening. But be on the lookout for more events. We are going to, in Minneapolis, we're doing Sound at 12 p.m. Also, registrations that are open right now. If you're interested in doing sound, creating your own xylophone, creating your own guitar, please register for STEM Baton Rouge. That's actually chemistry on Saturday, April 17th. Sorry, guys. Chemistry is Saturday, April 17th. You'll do really cool chemistry experiments in the Baton Rouge area. People, please sign up. For STEM Gulf Coast, so this is Gulf Coast area, you guys will be doing sound as well. That's April 17th at 12 p.m. This registration is open right now at stemnola.com, so please visit us under stemnola.com. Remember, send your pictures to webinar at stemnola.com. We love to see you guys doing your STEM projects. We love to see how much fun you're having, and we like to post the pictures on social media. So these events we talked about, if you are doing the STEM Baton Rouge chemistry event, you will be building a Benny Man clock. You will also be doing really cool experiments like slime, elephant toothpaste, stuff like that in your box. If you are doing sound, both K through 2 and 3rd through 12th do the Benny Man clock. If you are doing sound and you're 3rd through 12th, you will be building your own xylophone. So each one of your pipes have a different sound, and you get to build this yourself. Get to take it home, keep it at home because you're already at home, and play your own handmade instrument. Really cool. K through 2, you build your own guitar. Get to play a little song. After you build your guitar, turn the song on and play to it. We love to hear it. Send us videos, send us pictures. Sign up for these events at stemnola.com. If you want to see some of our previous events or previous videos, please look on our YouTube channel under Stemnola. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday and have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll see you Saturday. See y'all.